So just wanted to ask you about George. Tell me about him.
Our families have been joined together through second marriages and mixed family sort of things for years and years. We've been close and involved with each other's family for about 40 years. And so Susan and I met George and his brothers and sisters when we were 10, 12 years old. So a lifetime ago. George was always just the joy of the life of the party is kind of something that comes to mind, that he was deeply loving, always happy. He brought laughter and smiles to us just by being around. We have many, many funny stories, some that I can't tell because we would all get in trouble. But he was just a joy. He was our brother and brought such joy and laughter to us, so much love. And Michelle too, when they met 16 years ago, and she became part of our family, he fell head over heels in love with her. And it just made his love, it made his heart bigger and more. He just brought happiness to us, and he brought happiness to Michelle because he loved her dearly. And I think they were as much in love after 15 years as they were as newlyweds all those years ago. So that's kind of who he was. He was our little brother, but he was always so big. So his heart made him such a big personality, and he was such a leader for our family. And he took on leadership roles even though he wasn't the eldest, and that's who George was.
Yes, and of course we're devastated, and we are going to miss him and her and Isaac more than we have words to say. We also are heartbroken for the police officers who lost their lives and their families who are grieving. I would also like to say what I told my grandchildren yesterday when they said, my 10-year-old granddaughter asked me, Granny Sue, please tell me what happened. And I explained to her the best I could what had happened. And I told her that Isaac was sick and that he was ill and he was sad and depressed. And if they ever felt that way or knew someone that did feel that way, that they should talk to somebody. And I would urge everyone that hears this to do the same. It's been a hard year plus on everybody, and people are handling it in different ways. And if you know someone who's in trouble, reach out to them.
Yeah. We are part of a big family. We have many siblings, and we just haven't quite wrapped our head around this. It's early days yet, and we're still processing how to feel and how to put one foot in front of the other. So, anything else?
Yeah.
Did you have more?
I did. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to unmute myself and do all that. So you talked a little bit about George, and then Michelle, I heard a little bit about her, and you said you felt, she was part of your family. Tell me about that.
She absolutely was. They met and fell in love. They've been married. This year will be their 15th wedding anniversary. So they've been together for a number of years. They met in the Boone area and were married up in that area. And Michelle has always been just such a solid part of our family ever since she joined us. And we never felt like she was anything but that. She was extremely intelligent, extremely devoted to her job, her community. She was involved with local theater at Horn in the West, and she was just involved in a lot of things in the community. And she had such a tender heart. I think that if you knew her or around her a little bit, you would think she was a little bit quiet, maybe a little bit timid, but she had a backbone of steel. She was a mama bear if she needed to be, and she just was she had such a strong spirit of her, and both she and George did, and a lot of that was due to their deep Christian faith. They were both deeply devoted to their faith, and that was an integral part of who they were individually and in who they were together. And I think that they would want you to know that their faith, their Christian faith, is a part of who they are. And as a family, we are so thankful for that now, because we are assured of their eternity, and that, you know, we
And
will,
our eventual reunion
Right.
with them. So
we'll be together again someday. So, but Michelle was very involved with the community, was very involved. She worked for the city of Boone, and she loved Boone. They both loved the area, and she was just a go-getter. And she was so funny. She was quiet, but once she got kind of going in her humor, she's a little sassy, and she was just really, she made us laugh too.
Susan, you kind of shared, you know, just your response and just the devastation. I can't imagine for you, Wendy, I mean, what this was like to hear about your brother and sister-in-law.
yes, you're right. You can't imagine, because I still can't imagine. And again, the ripple effect of the loss is very great. It extends outside of our family into the law enforcement families, into the community, into the church family, into their work family. The loss is great for so many, and I'm thankful to have these people with me. I don't know how we would get through it without each other, and that's what we'll do. We'll band together and figure out how to go day by day.
Yes, it has been a very surreal 48 hours since we got a clue midday Wednesday that, you know, something was happening. And then as the day progressed, it became apparent that it was something that involved our family, and that it wasn't going to end well. So the last 48 hours have been really difficult, trying to walk through that and to grasp what has really happened. You kind of think you're in a dream, and maybe you'll wake up and this didn't really happen. But as Susan said, we are so thankful for the law enforcement officers, and we just send our condolences and our sympathies to their families. This is far reaching, and we're just a small cog of this whole big picture. Michelle still has family, mother and brother and daughter. And so they are grieving as we are, in the disbelief of what's happened.
And I know this question is hard, as far as, you know, just what happened. And I know that everybody wants to know why. And I'm sure you guys have that same question, and never knew of any issues or problems or anything like that would tell you this would happen.
I think that's a fair statement. We had little knowledge beforehand that this kind of situation could arise. I'm hesitant to speak too much about Isaac, and I don't know him well enough to
speculate on his
Right.
state of mind, or had not had contact with him, and now wishing, you know, that 3 weeks ago I'd been with him, sat down, talked to him, and said, "Hey buddy, are you okay? Let's talk." You know, I just feel so sad that somebody didn't get that opportunity to really see his pain and know that he was in such a horrible place.
Yeah. And yeah, Susan, I mean, like you were saying, that you're telling people, you know, if they feel that way, you know, to seek help.
Talk to somebody, anybody, your neighbor, your pastor, your sister, your friend, anybody, and say, I don't know if I'm okay. I don't feel okay. And I think all of us have experienced that throughout this past year in some kind of way because of just the losses of, you know, jobs and finances and perhaps homes and just so much loss. And yeah, I just urge people to reach out and let someone help you. Call me, I'll help you. I'll talk to you.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
We will tell you of Jesus Christ and how that's where we find our comfort, our hope. That's where we find our foundation. And we would invite anybody, like Susan said, find somebody who can listen to you
And encourage you
and get you help if you need it.
and let you know you're loved.
Because he was loved. Isaac was a loved son and a loved grandson and a loved nephew. It's hard. It's been hard to, you know, put all those feelings together in the last 48 hours between the devastation and the loss and the anger. But Isaac was a loved child, and
Even so,
and I don't want that to get lost. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want people to know about George and Michelle?
again, I think Wendy has said it the best, that they were just joyful people. Both of them. They brought so much love, so much joy to everyone they were around. And that will never be lost. We will always have the joy of the memories with them and are thankful for that.
George was a great hugger. He could envelop you in a hug and you would just, the cares would go away for the moment. He was a great laugher. He brought so much laughter to all of us, to our gatherings whenever we were together with just a couple of us, or if we were together for our extended family, which is large.
Yeah.
So our family stretches from coast to coast. So we're not all able to be together physically right now, but we are just laughing and smiling. We've cried a lot in the last 2 days. We've laughed some in the last 2 days. George had a little bit of mischief in him, and he brought that out in ways that you know, we still laugh. And finally, one time not too long ago, he said, y'all have got to stop telling those stories. I'm going to be in such trouble with Michelle. So they were happy people. They were happy in their marriage and relationship together. They were happy in their community. They loved being a part of Boone, and they were very important and very much involved in the Boone and Watauga County area. So they would be the first to step up and also offer their condolences to the Watauga County Sheriff's Department and their families. They would be devastated to see how this picture came out, because they loved Boone. They loved each other and they loved Boone, and they brought us such happiness.
Yeah.
Well, we will end on that happy note of
Thank you.
yeah. Unless there's something else y'all want to add, of course.
I think we've said what we need to say. We very humbly and thankfully accept this kind of spokesman opportunity for our extended family. And thank you, Robin, for how well you have handled this story and handled this situation. We have felt that that George and Michelle are honored in these words and these pictures and these stories. And there's so many people out there who have a story to tell about the two of them. So thank you.
Thank you both. And let us know, keep us posted on anything that you want to share, if the arrangements or anything coming up.
It's very early days. The medical examiner at Wake Forest Baptist is still in charge of that. So we don't have any information yet about, we have to wait for them. Yeah, we have to wait for them to go forward.